WABI TV5 News. This is Campaign 2018.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our continued coverage of local election results. We've made it to 11 o'clock. I'm John Small.
And not a lot decided at this point yet. I can't tell you I'm Catherine Pegram, though. Can also tell you that the Maine Secretary of State's office says that it has been a robust turnout today. You saw that if you went to the polls today. The predictions about 65% of the eligible voters casting ballots, and we do know that in a midterm election, that's pretty unusual. Most of the time, about 50% of eligible voters turn out in a race like this today. In Brewer, there was a long line of eager voters waiting for the doors to the Brewer Auditorium to open right around 7 o'clock this morning. A steady stream of people followed right behind them. The line to then put their ballots into the sorting machine snaked across the gym floor. One person told TV5 News it took about 50 minutes from when they arrived to when they left today. But again, lots of people saying taking hour, even 2 hours waiting today to cast their ballots.
And the Secretary of State has had a busy day canvassing the state and also investigating complaints of someone trying to intimidate college students voting in Farmington, saying that if they registered there, they would have consequences. We spoke with Secretary of State Matt Dunlap about the situation this afternoon. He says it's more of a case of an interpretation of freedom of speech.
It is true that registering to vote does establish residency, and establishing residency does carry with it other civic obligations. However, those obligations are not in any way connected with your ability to exercise your sovereign right to vote. But what's happening in Farmington is not voter suppression, it's someone exercising their rights to free speech.
And that voting in Farmington today took place at the community center.
One of the most watched races of the night has been the race for governor. Who will be the next person to fill the seat in the Blaine House?
Of course, Paul LePage is termed out. He will have to leave the Blaine House in January. We will have a new governor. Candidates running include Independent Terry Hayes, Republican Sean Moody, and Democrat Janet Mills. And here we are with 183 of the 574 precincts reporting. Right now, Janet Mills in the lead with 51%. Sean Moody, the Republican, with 43%. Terry Hayes polling at 6%, and I believe we've told you a couple times already tonight that Terry Hayes at her campaign headquarters tonight did concede in the race. So right now it's down to Janet Mills and Sean Moody.
Lots of Sean Moody supporters in Gorham tonight, and that's where we find Brian Sullivan. He joins us with the very latest. Brian.
Catherine, John, yeah, thank you very much. Here in Gorham, where there are many Moody supporters. They've been out in full force all day long throughout the campaign, none more so than his brother, Thad. Thad, thank you very much for joining us. What's it been like as you watch these results roll in?
Again, it's up and down, and we dealt with it in the primary in certain districts. You know, we're going to vote strongly for Sean. Other votes, of course, going to go the other way. So it's definitely up and down, and we're just hoping at the end that we're going to come out on top.
Is there anything in particular that you're looking at as some of these numbers do come in? Anywhere in particular, maybe the more rural areas of the state of Maine?
We right now definitely look at the more rural areas in northern Maine, yes. And of course we got the southern part, you know, York County, Cumberland County. We haven't done Gorham yet. You know, we haven't done a lot of our other areas in the south. So I think it still bodes well.
What parallels can you draw the experience that you had in the primary to what you're going through tonight?
Again, this is of course a bigger picture, but you got to win the primary in order to get to the big dance. So that was exciting because the Republican Party didn't end up going through ranked choice voting, and it was fun watching Sean at 49% to 50 to 51 to 52, and then at the end of the day it was like, thank goodness, no ranked choice voting.
All right, thank you very much, Dad, for your time. For now, John Catherine, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Hey, Brian Sullivan for us tonight in Gorham. Thank you, Brian.
And we want to head down to Portland now, too, where 1st District Congresswoman Shelley Pingree is speaking to the crowd down there.
Healthcare coverage for pre-existing conditions.
Yeah, John, Shelley Pingree is speaking behind me. Let's listen in real quick.
Opioid crisis, and we have to lower the cost of prescription drugs. That's just the start. We got to fight for a fair economy and fix the student loan program. Make sure we get to those costs. We have to protect Social Security and Medicare. I think you know the Republicans have got a target on those vital programs because they see them as a way to fix the deficit that they have created by giving big tax cuts to the wealthy and big corporations. So we have our work cut out for us. And maybe it's most important that we take on climate change and finally say it's serious and for real. Right here in the Gulf of Maine, our ocean is warming 95% faster than the rest of the world, and it could have devastating consequences for our lobster fishermen, for fishing industries, for our coastal communities. It could virtually threaten our way of life, and time is running out. So I just want to say, I think we can fix these problems. I really do believe we can. We got to face them head on. We got to stick to our values. We have to work across the aisle. Now that we're going to be in the majority, we will extend the hand to the Republicans. I've been doing that for the last 10 years, but none have been more challenging the past two, as you all know. I think now that we know we're going to have a Democratic majority in the House, you're going to see my colleagues and my wonderful new colleagues. We've been electing incredible people across the country tonight. We are going to have more women, more diversity, more Democratic Party than we've ever had before. And we are going to work hard. We're going to fight for those things we care about. And we're going to get those things that we do agree with, the Democrats and Republicans. We're going to get everyone to work together and move forward on that. So I just want you to know you can count on me. I am going to represent your values in Washington. I am going to be a check on the president. I am going to fight against the hateful rhetoric that's become all too common in this country. And I'm going to make sure we show respect for all people, regardless of color, sexual orientation, age. And I just want to say, in these troubled times, we really have to be reminded that we are all in this together, that no one truly succeeds without lending a helping hand to our neighbors, and that our country's greatness can only be equal to our kindness and our heart. Thank you. Okay. Keep partying. We just gotta hope it's gonna be a really good night here in Maine. I know it's gonna be a good night in some of the races across the country.
All right, as you can see there, 1st Congressional District candidate Shelley Pingree, the incumbent there, declaring victory and taking on that term now for the 6th time, heading back down to Washington, D.C. as the U.S. representative for the 1st Congressional District.
Yeah, and I believe we have the numbers, the latest numbers in that 1st District race right now. Now, we have not called the race yet. Shelley Pingree with 59% at this point. Remember, this is a ranked choice voting election, so she does have to get over 50%. Certainly looks like she's heading that way, and she has declared victory tonight with 58 of the 156 precincts reporting. She does have 59%. Mark Holbrook, the Republican, has 31%, and the independent, Martin Groman, has 10%. Now, she did say something interesting in that speech.
Right.
She said the Democrats have taken control back of the House. Now, we have not heard that yet from CBS News, but maybe she has some different sources. But 1st District Congressman Shelley Pingree, it looks like she'll be returned to Washington, did say in that speech just a moment ago that Democrats have retaken control of the House.
And we knew that 23 seats needed to flip for the Democrats to regain that control over the Republican House, which has been that way since 2010. So still working to confirm that information.
Yeah, we'll try to get that confirmation.
She's very confident about it at this point. Back to the other side of the Democratic race when it comes to the governor's office. Janet Mills, she's running for that position right now, too.
That's right. She's actually in the same location tonight as Shelley Pingree, and that's where Paul Dwyer is at the Mills campaign headquarters tonight. Paul is there. Oh, we don't have Paul. We don't have Paul.
All right, let's check on one of this Senate race then. This is one that's been watched, and we believe that it is a Senate race, right? Angus King here, yes. The incumbent looking to return back to Washington, D.C. for his 2nd term in office, a 6-year term. This one not been called yet here in Maine, but we do know that there are some national media outlets that are saying that Angus King has won this position. But again, ranked choice voting in play here. 195 of the 574 precincts reporting, so it is a 50% plus 1 vote that has to come into play for him to actually claim that seat here in Maine. But we do again know that national media outlets are saying that Angus King will return to Washington, D.C. We can't call that yet here.
No, and he has kept that vote total over 50% all night, and without knowing what towns and cities have reported, hard to know how many more votes are out there, but he has maintained that 50% plus one all evening. A race that has been very closely watched all across the country is the 2nd District congressional race. Very close race as we expected, with 136 of the 418 precincts reporting. It's Democrat Jared Golden with the lead right now, 47% of the vote. Republican incumbent Bruce Poliquin has 45%. There are 2 independents running in this race, Tiffany Bond with 6% right now, and William Hoare with 2% right now. But Golden with a narrow 2% lead with about a quarter of the precincts reporting.
This has been one of those hot races that has just been too hard to tell all throughout the political season right now. And so supporters on both sides still standing strong, but a lot of them on pins and needles as they wonder and wait for the final tally to come in.
Maybe a long night in this race, or maybe a long week. We'll have to wait and see. But Morgan Sturdivant is at Poliquin headquarters tonight in Bangor. She joins us now from there. Morgan?
John and Catherine, yeah, this has been, what a night it's been, really, just watching these races across the country, including here in Maine and in the 2nd Congressional District. Here in Bangor, we've had supporters here, packed in here all night at Dysart's in Bangor on Broadway. You can see Bruce Poliquin is behind me here. Let me step out of the way. He's here. He arrived here just a little bit ago to talk to his supporters who are here, as you said, waiting on pins and needles to find out these results as they keep going back and forth between Poliquin and Golden in the lead as these precincts continue to report their results. We did hear from Bruce Poliquin just a little bit ago. He did talk to the media briefly. Here's what he said.
Well, it's going to be very close. We have about roughly 25-26% of the vote that's in, and it's very, very close. And so we'll just to see how it goes. It's going to be a long night.
Are you nervous?
Long day. No, I'm not nervous. You know better than that. You know, they'll count all the votes and see what it looks like at the end of the night. But it's going to be a long. You guys are going to be up very late. Yeah. You think you're going to get some sleep tonight? Or not?
Are you going to challenge this if it goes to ranked choice?
We're going to count all the votes.
And as you can see, Poliquin in good spirits this evening, saying they will count every vote until the end of this election here. You can see he's still chatting with supporters tonight. Not sure if he's going to address the media tonight. I guess we'll have to wait and see what will happen. We will be here and we'll have more updates. John and Catherine.
All right, thank you, Morgan Sturdivant from the Poliquin headquarters in Bangor tonight. And we had mentioned that 1st District Congresswoman Shelley Pingree, who looks like she's been reelected, had mentioned that the Democrats were taking back the House. And in fact, CNN is now projecting that the Democrats will, in fact, regain control of the U.S. House of Representatives. We had told you earlier in the night that CBS News was saying that Republicans will keep control of the U.S. Senate.
And certainly that's why the race between Democrat Jared Golden and Bruce Poliquin was such high profile, because there were thoughts if that seat would turn again, could the Democrats take control of the House? But it appears they may have done that without this race being finalized. We do know that Democrat Jared Golden is he is hot on the heels when it comes to trying to win this seat back as well.
Yeah, he's got a small lead in the race right now. Emily Tadlock is at Golden headquarters in Lewiston. She joins us now with the latest from there. Hi, Emily.
John, Catherine, that's right. He does have a slight lead right now, which has spirits here in the room very, very high. We've had cheers throughout the night as numbers keep rolling in. I'm standing here now with Peggy Rotundo. She worked in the Maine legislature for 16 years, and you know Jared pretty well.
I do know Jared very well and have the greatest respect for him.
So tell me a little bit about why you feel Jared would really just take this and run with it.
Jared has all of those qualities that Maine people particularly appreciate and respect. He's hardworking, he's honest, he's courageous, he's very respectful, and he was a very effective legislator, and I know he'll be a very effective legislator in Congress. I just was talking to a young veteran who was telling me about the amazing work that Jared did, working across the aisle, working with Republicans and Democrats to get through bills that were very important to the veterans, particularly young veterans this past session.
Yeah, I I was going to say, working on both sides of the aisle, it's going to be very important coming up.
Absolutely. But if anybody can do it, it's Jared.
Great, fantastic. Now, we were told just a few minutes ago that Lewiston actually voted strongly for Jared, giving them 2,000 votes. We're also told that Jared Golden is expected to speak here within the hour in Lewiston to all of his supporters. So hopefully we'll come back with some sound from him a little bit later, if not tomorrow morning. But no matter what, it's going to be a long night, Peggy.
I think it will be a long night, but we're prepared, we're ready, and there's a lot of energy in this room.
All right, fantastic. John, Catherine, for now, we're just going to send it right back to you.
All right, Emily Tadlock for us in Lewiston, and tomorrow morning is actually only 45 minutes away. So
it's not that far away.
No, it's not. So we could be into the wee hours of the morning throughout this campaign, too.
And remember, again, we just want to reiterate that is a ranked choice voting election. So if neither one of those candidates gets the 50% plus one, it's going to go to ranked choice voting. And as the Secretary of State has said, that'll probably take about a week to sort out before we find out who actually wins in that race, if we get to that situation tonight, if someone doesn't get to that 50 plus one. We've got a lot of results for you too tonight. Local races, a lot of the state house and state senate races. All those results can be found on our website, wabi.tv.
We're going to take a break right now and be back with more election coverage when we return.